dokie. Hello everyone. Tonight we're going to be unboxing this gigantic monstrosity of a box set. And I'm going to do my best. My webcam is going to probably have a little bit of a tough time capturing it in all of its gigantic glory, but this is the Warhammer 40k 9th edition starter set, Indomitus. It is $199. It sold out immediately online. We still have a couple left up for pre-order on our website. The value in this box is completely insane, as you will see in a moment. I'm really excited about it. All the models are new. They all look gorgeous. I finally decided I'm going to paint the Space Marines in here as Dark Angels. I was kind of 50-50 on whether I was going to do it Dark Angels or Crimson Fists, but I did see that the Blade Guard veterans get the Deathwing keyword, and the Outriders get the Ravenwing keyword, so that makes it worth painting them as Dark Angels. Pretty excited about that. Alright, so without further babbling, I'm going to start tearing this guy open. We'll see what's inside. Judging from the weight, my guess is a lot of miniatures. It is not just big, it's also incredibly heavy for a box this size. It has to be just pretty much packed solid with plastic. Also, of course, this comes with the 9th edition rulebook, so that's nothing to consider either. That's a $65 book. Alright, so let's get this guy open. There we go. Put this aside. Let's see what we got. We got what looks like a two-sided little poster. That's neat. Set that aside too, and holy crap. We got sprues on sprues on sprues. We got these look like the Assault Intercessors, which I'm pretty excited about. They're pretty good. This looks like some of the Scorpec Destroyers. These are more Intercessors. Put those over there. These are clearly Outriders. These big chunky 4-wound bikes. Very awesome. This is 50% Necron, the like Tomb Guard or whatever, I don't remember, and then this looks like the Lieutenant with the giant shield and the Volkite pistol. This is the Captain, and I think this is like an Overlord with a big ol' spooky glaive. So that guy. So these are kind of split 50-50. I think a lot of these, if not all of them, are actually pushed together models too. So they're easy to build too, but I mean the detail is not skimped on at all. Like the starter sets have certainly come a long way since I started playing. So then we got a lot of Necrons here. This looks like the Cryptek Reanimator, the Scorpec Destroyer Lord, and I think the Plasmacyte maybe is in here too. It's tough to tell. I'm not an expert on all the Necron models too. There's a bunch of new ones and they're all really sweet. And then this is a humongous pile of warriors. There's 20 of them in the set. And also 6 Scarab Swarms. Those are in here too. Then we got, this is the Ancient, the Blade Guard veterans, the Justiciar, which is a really sweet model, and the Eradicators, who are also very cool, like some really crazy Melta-toting guys. So that's all the miniatures, and that's to say that there is like, ran the numbers, something like almost $800 total value in here. There's like almost that amount of miniatures if we assume that the HQs are regular HQ price, which is like $35 a pop. The Space Marine side of this has 5 of them. You got another little poster thing here. I think it's the same as the other one. Yeah, looks like it. And then what do we got? We got this little packet here is the assembly guide, and also the campaign book, which I believe has the, yes, this is Indomitus, yep. This is the new Indomitus book, or box rather. Yeah, so here's the assembly guide for all the miniatures, and then the Edge of Silence I think has the data sheets for all the models included, and then also some background stuff. Yeah, it's super sweet. I've been waiting for this. Get this advanced copy a little bit ahead of when the pre-releases come out. It doesn't release until the 25th, and I've been championing the bit for it because it is really sweet. You know, almost all of these models are new or get something new. The lieutenant gets the Volkite pistol, and the Judiciar is a new HQ entirely, and then there's the Chaplain, Blade Guard veterans, and the Ancient. Those are new. Intercessors, the Outriders, and then all the Necron stuff. The Royal Warden, the Plasmancer, the Scorpek Lord, the Scorpek Destroyers, which are like close combat versions of the classic floating destroyers. A Reanimator, I don't know what Crypto Thralls are. I guess you can have them in armies with Cryptex. And they like protect the Cryptek from being targeted. Which the Plasmancer is technically a Cryptek. Okay, that was what I was wondering. Got it. He has the Cryptek keyword. We got the Warriors and the Scarabs. And then, of course, last but not least, we got the rulebook. And not only is this, you know, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to paint them on stream, but Carolyn and I were talking about maybe doing a demo game with some of the miniatures in here after we painted like 500 points to do a combat patrol. But maybe I'll do a painting stream too. I don't know. If that's something people are interested in, I can paint on stream. Yeah, but this rulebook also is an alternate cover too, so yeah, well, that's true of any rulebook. But yeah, this thing's super hefty. And we got a solid, like, the first 2/3 of it are fluff and just pictures of miniatures. And then starting on page 194, the rules. So, you know, nothing new there. That's all typical. And the core rules are actually available online for free, but you get a bunch of extra stuff in here, you know, going into details about edge cases and such, and then also the missions and stuff are in here in the Crusade kind of game mode. Yeah, see, so here's missions, and we get you know, your basic only war mission, and then a bunch of other things about building an army and factions and command points, Battleforged armies, battlefield role slots, detachments, detachment abilities, which is new. The way that they kind of incentivize or disincentivize having extra. No, so Kill Team is going to keep being supported. It is its own rule set. They did say that they were probably going to release data sheets for new units that would be in Kill Team, so we'll probably get like Assault Intercessors in Kill Team with their own rules eventually, but this edition change doesn't change anything in Kill Team immediately. And one of the big differences here, reserves are changed. And you have to actually pay command points to put units into strategic reserve now, which is very different and probably good. And then also they talk about actions, so like units can perform actions that score victory points now, in addition to just being able to like attack and stuff, and that's really interesting. Also, the way terrain works is very different. So here's the open play missions. I'm trying to show you, it's really difficult to get all this. This is an open hostility mission pack, and these are open play. And then these are the matched play is in here as well. And it's got the Eternal War stuff, the secondary objectives, and then missions with deployment zones. They're also releasing new open war cards that kind of let you mix and match stuff like this. Also, you'll note that when you get your hands on the book, that different game sizes have different associated scenarios. So like these are like the Strike Force missions, these are the Onslaught missions. So instead of having them all broken into different books where you have like an Apocalypse book and regular book and then like a city fight, it's all in here. So combat patrols get their own missions, incursions get their own missions, onslaught, all that own missions. Then the last thing here is Crusade, which is their narrative play answer, and I think it's finally something that maybe like actual human beings can do, where you draw up. It's sort of like how Kill Team narrative play works, where you have a campaign and draw up like a roster of your army, and then you pull units from that roster for individual games, and they can gain experience, they can gain battle honors, which enhance their abilities. I believe they can also gain scars if they get their asses kicked too many times. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so here's battle honors, so the extra characteristics that units can gain, weapon enhancements to make weapons better, psychic bonuses, crusade relics, and we can safely assume that upcoming codices will have more of this stuff too, so their own crusade relics and stuff like that. Rules for being taken out of action, and then battle scars, which hurt the units and affect their abilities in a negative way. And then here's the appendix, and then it has like the data sheets, and then back here, missions for Crusade. So they have their own set of missions. again, these missions are also organized by game size. So incursion, combat or combat patrol, incursion, strike force, onslaught. So there's, I mean, the message here is that there's a ton of missions included right in this book. The Grand Tournament pack has the updated points costs, and we're taking we'll be getting some of those too. But yeah, it's pretty bananas. This box, you know, if you're getting the rule book and you play Necrons or Space Marines, or would consider playing Necrons or Space Marines, you have a slightly, what I've estimated to be slightly more than 1,000 points of each faction in this box. What would realistically cost you about $800, not including the $65 rulebook, and all for the cheap price of about 200 bucks. I'm really excited about it. Probably going to, realistically, for 500 points, I'm not going to take all these guys. Certainly not all these HQs. It's probably going to be the Assault Intercessors, the Lieutenant, and I think the Justiciar, because I want to take him out for a spin. And then probably the Outriders. The Blade Guard veterans are cool, but they are pretty exclusively close combat. Although to be fair, the size of boards is dramatically smaller, especially at lower points costs. The size for a 500-point game, Combat Patrol, is only 2 kill team boards. It's like it cuts like almost a foot off of each dimension from what it used to be. And the Incursion, the 1,000-point game size, actually uses that same size board. So, I mean, that's going to be a bloodbath. Like 1,000 points cooped up onto like a 3x4 is going to get pretty grisly. So I think, and they've also like nerfed Overwatch a fair bit, so that close combat units have more of a chance in this edition, I think. But I'm also not 100% sure that I want to get up close and personal with these Scorpec destroyers. They're pretty scary. Here's the, these are all of the bases. I think it's all of them. Oh, there's some more under here. As they shuffled around, these are the bases for the biggins. And they were thoughtful enough to already punch holes in them, so I don't have to do it. That is annoying. I probably won't dress them up with extra bits. They're pushed together, so I don't want to screw around with them too much. I will definitely paint them black, as like I said, they do gain the Ravenwing keyword if you take them in a Dark Angels army, and the Blade Guard Ancients gain the Deathwing keyword. So, and we also know from the FAQ that in Grim Resolve in 9th edition means that Dark Angels are immune to combat attrition checks, which is a thing that happens in 9th edition when you fail morale. That's how you lose extra guys from morale in 9th edition, basically. Yeah, it looks like, I think that you can build a couple guys with plasma pistols here. Let's take a look at those, the data sheets actually, just kind of get an idea about what some of these units are capable of. And I'm gonna look at the Space Marines, of course, first, because that's what I care about most. I think the Necrons are really cool, and I'm really glad that they're finally getting some new models and the attention that they're due, because the Warrior and Immortal kits are 4th edition era models, and their range is, even their newest stuff is from like the end of 5th edition, so they definitely deserve an update. And they finally got rid of the green clear plastic tubes that connect their gauze flares. Now they're just gotta paint the glow onto them. So Assault Intercessors, it's 4 to 9 models and then a Sergeant. So they give you the bits in here because it's 2 sprues of the same. They give you the bits to be able to build them as 2 squads of 5, because you have 2 plasma pistols and only the Sergeant can take that. So they, they gave you the option to build them that way, and that's probably what I'll do. I don't, even in this new edition, I don't super see myself fielding a single squad of 10 Assault Intercessors. That's a lot. Notably, this book does not include points costs. It only has power, so that is something to consider. Outriders do have twin bolt rifles, heavy bolt pistols, 4 wounds. They're toughness 5. That's pretty serious. They also add 2 to their attacks when they charge. That's crazy. They have Astartes chain swords, which are -1 AP now. Blade Guard veterans, also heavy bolt pistols, which I guess are range 18, so they can, like, they're not putting out a ton of fire, but they can take some pot shots at you. All bikes are toughness 5 now. The bonus of the Outriders is they have twice the wounds of a normal bike. They have 4 wounds instead of 2. Also, they have bolt rifles instead of bolt guns, so they're -1 AP. The Blade Guard guys have 3 attacks each. The Sergeant has 4. They have Mastercrafted Power Swords, which are Strength 5, 2 damage. Woof. Yeah, so those guys will carve you up. And they all have Storm Shields. Now, yeah, the kits are a nightmare, absolutely. Like, the Ravenwing ones are even worse. I literally put off painting mine for, like, a decade. So a cool thing about Storm Shields that I noticed in this edition is they give you the 4+ save, but they also improve your save characteristic by 1. So Blade Guard veterans effectively save like Terminators. They have 2+ armor saves and 4+ invulnerable saves. So they're 3 wounds a model, so they're pretty tough. They can take some shots for sure. They're not going to go down in a hurry. The Ancient has 5 wounds. And he has a banner. He adds 1 to hit rolls for friendly Blade Guard models, and adds 1 to leadership for chapter units. And they can, if they get destroyed on a 4+, they can attack or shoot or whatever before they die. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, the Assault Intercessors, like, they're still putting out 3 attacks each, 4 for the Sergeant. And while they don't have power swords, they are, like, Astartes chain swords are -1 AP now. So, like, they're all shooting with their bolt pistols, and then they're coming at you with -1 AP melee weapons. And they're coming in for, 4 of them coming in for 12 attacks plus 4 off the Sergeant. So it's not bad. And the Sergeant has a plasma pistol too, so like, I think they're pretty respectable. The Justiciar, he has a crazy close combat weapon. Strikes at strength 7, minus 3 AP, 2 damage, and rolls of 6. Inflict mortal wounds. He's 4+ invuln against melee attacks. And then at the start of each fight phase, select one enemy model within 6 inches of, or one enemy unit within 6 inches of him. That unit cannot fight until all other eligible units have done so that phase. So that's his wacky time turner there. We got the Neo Volkite pistol. It's a strength 5, 2 damage, pistol 2 weapon, range 15. Wound rolls of 6, inflict mortal wounds. No AP to speak of though, but that's a pretty sweet weapon. And then the Eradicators, as we know, are bonkers and have 24-inch assault multi-meltas that you can shoot twice if everyone in the unit shoots at the same target. So they're really good at killing tanks or big monsters. See, the Overlord has a Tachyon arrow, which is pretty cool, and then he has his Hyperphase glaive. The Tachyon arrow is a single shot, strength 12 attack. Yeah, the changes aren't too rough over from this edition. It's really a refinement, as opposed to like a complete overhaul like 8th was. Like, we're really seeing essentially the same ideas, just with some fine tuning. I think it's overall, from what I have to go through all the rules in detail, but from what I've seen, it seems good. I'm pleased with it, certainly, and I'm very excited to put some of these guys together. So yeah, I guess I'll do it. I'm gonna definitely put together a list for a combat patrol. Build them, probably try to paint them. Might do that on stream, and then if we get the chance to, we would like to do a demo game at combat patrol level, which is, I believe, I want to say it's 30 power level, because we're using power level here because that's what I got. Don't have the points, so let's just see. Let us take a peek. Combat patrol is up to 50 power level, dang. Or 500 points. So yeah, they're in the chapter approved book, but I don't have a copy of that yet. That doesn't come out until the 25th, so 50 points is 50 power levels, quite a bit. Like, that's, I think, everything in here. 5, 12, 17, 27, 38. Yeah. That seems, if what I've heard about the points going up is true, then power level puts you dramatically below what the actual points cost of these units are. Because I don't believe that, I guess you're probably paying like 100 points for those Eradicators, I have to assume, at least, and this would put them at closer to, like, I don't know, like 50. That doesn't seem right. It's crazy. Anyway, that's a question for another day. So yeah, I'll throw this up online in case people want to see it. I know it wasn't visually stunning, but I just kind of wanted to share opening this with you. And as I said, if anyone's still considering buying this, on the fence about it, we have a couple left. And certainly the value's there. Like, if you want even a portion of this, you're really only paying for a portion of it. So that's it, and I'll see you guys later.